How to tell your crush that you like them without it being obvious. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about how to tell your crush that you like them without it being obvious. So the problem with not wanting it to look obvious is that you might come across creepy, right? If you try and be their friend first, and if you kind of like try to fly under the radar and you're kind of hanging about in their life, trying to be their friend even though you want more than that, then you're going to run the risk of looking creepy. Now, it's not all the time, but a lot of the time that is the case. You're going to you're going to just look very strange to them because obviously you really like them. But you're giving, and they can probably sense this kind of energy from you. They can probably sense that you perhaps maybe like them, but you're being friends with them, and it kind of gives off this really strange, inauthentic vibe, right? And if you're inauthentic, people can usually tell. Now, they may still be your friend, they may still hang out with you, but there'll always be something in their hearts that makes them feel a little bit standoffish towards you because you're not being authentic. They can tell that there's something else going on and you're not talking about it, right? You're not bringing it up. You're being inauthentic. So the reason why you do want it to be obvious is because, first of all, it just makes the process so much easier and it doesn't make things drag out. Like if you've got a crush on someone and you really, really like them, you need to get on with it. You need to ask them out. You need to say to them, hey, look, I kind of starting to see you in a different way. I would actually really like to go out with you. When are you available to hang out for a drink or a coffee, depending on how old you are, right? So you need to say those kinds of things, because if you're not and you are waiting and you're kind of giving off tiny, tiny, tiny little hints that no one can read because it's not obvious, right? You're going to keep hold of those feelings. Those feelings are just going to keep on stewing inside of you. You know, the months are going to go by, the years might even go by. That was a case that I had with a crush once. I had a crush on someone for a good couple of years and it lasted forever and it was terrible and it was painful, and I would never go through that kind of thing ever again because I just wasn't brave enough. I just didn't say how I felt, right? And when you say how you feel about them, and when I say how you feel, I don't mean that you should tell them that you're in love with them or anything like that. But when you get it out on the table that you would like to date them, it stops that kind of thing from happening because you then know where you stand. And that's basically what you want to be doing. You don't want to be wasting your time on someone who might not be interested in you. You want to be spending time with people that are interested in you. And the best way you can find out if someone is interested in you or not interested in you is by asking them out. You want it to be obvious. You want it to be obvious. So if you're a heterosexual male watching this, or it could be the fact that you're a masculine lesbian watching this, the reason why you personally want to make it obvious is because if this person is more feminine than you, so a feminine woman, or it could be a feminine guy if you're a gay guy watching this, if this person is more feminine, then their personality is somewhat indecisive. Their personality is somewhat kind of difficult making decisions, right? So they want someone who is masculine to make the decisions, you know? So let's take the heterosexual male. Like the feminine woman wants the male to make the choices. She wants him to be the one that asks her out. The reason why is because she is unsure of herself. She doesn't want to be with someone else who is unsure of himself, right? She doesn't want to be with someone who is indecisive because then there's no polarity, right? So a feminine woman wants her masculine man to ask her out, right? She doesn't want to be the one that has to do that kind of thing. And now sometimes there are feminine women out there who are very extroverted, who are a little bit more decisive, that will ask guys out that they really like. But let's say as the general rule, if you're a guy watching this and you like feminine women, you need to be the one that asks her out. Because if you're not, and if you're indecisive, if you're trying to fly under the radar, if you're being indecisive about it, if you're hoping that she's going to make the first move, you are letting her be the guy, right? You're letting her be, and that basically takes her out of her feminine energy that you're attracted to in the first place, okay? And there has to be that polarity. There has to be, in all relationships, whether they are LGBT relationships or heterosexual relationships, there is usually a more masculine one and usually a more feminine one, and the one who's more masculine is usually the one that makes most of the choices, makes most of the decisions, decides where they go out to eat, decides what they go out to drink. And then there's the feminine one who is really indecisive, you know. So I consider myself to be masculine. It takes my wife roughly about an hour to get ready. It takes her ages to figure out what to wear, where for me it takes me like 15 minutes because I'm much more masculine, right, than what she is. And that's how her brain works, and that's how my brain works. She's indecisive, I'm more decisive, right? Again, this doesn't always have to be the general, you know, this is not the rule, basically. These rules can be broken. I'm not saying that feminine women can't make decisions. It's just how it is most of the time, especially in romantic relationships. So if you're masculine watching this, you need to ask her out, because if you're being indecisive, if you're trying to make it not obvious, you're being more feminine. And if she's feminine, she wants someone who is masculine, who's going to make the choices, going to make the decisions, who is going to be strong enough and brave enough and courageous enough to ask her out. That's what she wants as a feminine woman. She doesn't want someone who's going to fly under the radar, who's going to try and be a friend first. She wants someone who is direct, who is honest, who is true about who he is and is authentic. That's what she wants, okay? And obviously the opposite applies, right? So it's kind of cute for masculine people to be around a girl who is kind of like a little bit indecisive, who they can tell that really likes them, but they're really shy about talking about it and stuff like that. And that's kind of really attractive to someone who is masculine in certain contexts, obviously. So you have to be the one that asks them out. You don't want to be flying under the radar about it, okay? You want it to be obvious, because like I said, if it's not obvious, then you're going to be wasting ages of your, you know, loads and loads of time trying to get this person to like you when they might not even like you that much in the first place. You can't do that to yourself. You don't want to waste your time. You want to get on with it. And you know, things like crushes, you know, they can be really heartbreaking if you've had a crush on someone for a very, very long time. But whereas if you're at the beginning, when you start noticing how you feel about someone straight away, and you say to them like, hey, you know, I'm starting to see you a bit differently. I'd really like to get to know you better. When are you available to hang out for a drink? You know, you need to get on with it straight away. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting your time. You're going to be wasting your energy, your emotions, and it may lead you to even become obsessive over them, where you're just kind of staring at their photos, you listen to songs about them, you're always consumed with thoughts of them, and you just get yourself stuck into a huge mess. So you want it to be obvious. You want to get it out of the way, because these things can drag out and be long and painful if you don't. Right? So it's really important that you do that. So I hope that this video has made sense to you. I hope that you are now a bit more clear as to why it's important that you do try and make it obvious, so you can get on with your life, basically. Because, you know, this crush may not like you, or they may like you, right? You don't know that yet. You won't know until you make it obvious, until you say to them, I'm starting to see you differently. I think you're actually really, really cute. When would you like to hang out for a drink? You know, say something like that. That's all you have to say. And if they reject you, all you need to say is, okay, well, no worries. Just take it as a compliment. Honestly, don't worry about it. You know, something like that. And, you know, you don't have to take it so strongly, okay? And then you just focus on trying to find someone new. You know, just kind of see it as a train. You know, there's always another train coming, right? Just because this crush didn't work out doesn't mean that you're not going to find someone in the future. It could be next week, it could be tomorrow, it could be in a year from now. You're going to find someone else who you can, you know, ask out and go on a date with, and someone who's better. Because guess what? If you went on a date with someone who isn't interested in you, it's going to be boring. It's going to be bad. It's going to be not fun. It's much better to go out with someone who is enthusiastic to go out with you, who actually really wants to be there, right? Don't focus on people who don't want to be there, okay? So if you'd like to get in touch with me personally, please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you guys again very soon. Take care. Goodbye.